foundations now. I assume your volunteer efforts or some nonprofit you're involved with. This is my syllabus, my course. Page 2 is something called a grant concept outline. And this is basically just taking a program idea and just keep on developing it as far as you can. And it's kind of the outline for any sort of proposal that you want to write. You just have to fill out the questions. I've got this on my computer. It's really easy to use. It's a format. Page 3 and 4 is a proposal checklist for any program that you write. This is all the stuff that has to be filled in. These are the questions that have to be answered. It's all right there. So I use my computer a lot, and it's just a matter of formatting the computer and just keep on adding ideas. Page 5 is just a sample cover sheet for just a generic proposal. Page 6 is a list of all the different types of funding sources that you can go after to develop something as a nonprofit or as a housing program. I think it covers everything. I mean, it covers all of them. I'm not going to go into it right now. When you write page 7, when you write a proposal, you need needs assessments to document what the problem is. This is places where you get a needs assessment done. Page 8, your organization should have a grant writing library, and this is pretty much all the items that I think that you need for a library. Really stay on top of what grant writing is all about. I've got several of the items here. This is a directory of Maine foundations put out by the University of Southern Maine Office of Sponsored Research. You've seen it before. It's a good source of smaller foundation grants in the state. North Kennebec region also puts the regional planning agency up here puts out a book that's very similar to the Directory of Maine Foundations book. Lists a lot of things. I'm going to pass out. This is called ERC. Oh, jeez. This is called news briefs. I only have one. I've got the old ones here. They changed their names, so I really should pass those out. Yeah, you should make copies of that.
Okay, well, do that.
Or at least, is that a problem? Circulate.
No, I can circulate it, and then we can.
This is the one single funding thing that I get that's most important of all. It's called ERC News Briefs, and it lists all the different funding things that are out for a lot of different social services. There are other publications that are out, but they tend to concentrate on a specific area. Like I've got something called the Mental Health Funding News here someplace. That every social service field has their own specialty newsletter. This one here is the only one that I know of that covers them all. And this goes from aging, arts and humanities, children and community development, drugs and alcohol, education, employment, environment, handicapped, health, homelessness, housing, justice, management, minority affairs, parish life, preservation, refugees, rural social services, women, youth. It'll have different sections on each one of those on what's hot right now in terms of funding sources. This thing only costs $65 a year. It's the best buy you can get of anything that's going on. Most people are amazed on my workshop. I usually hand out samples of them. That's why I don't have them right now. Pass them out. But everybody's just amazed at what the information in this thing here. And I get $10 for every one I sell. No, I don't really. But
is there any place like that from banks on properties? Is there any centrally located?
Yeah, the foreclosed property stuff. That one. You might get some good deals under. You're talking about like what we picked up with our houses. If that type of list is out there, you're competing against a lot of
real estate people.
Yeah, real estate people that know what's good and what isn't. They can evaluate it, and you're really not going to find the bargains you think you are.
Okay.
It sounds great. I'm going to an auction and I'm going to get it at half price and stuff like that. What you get at half price is a timeshare condo someplace, or you really don't get any good properties that are worth it at that. You might get like 80 to 90% value on a property, but it doesn't mean it's worth it to you. It's really not worth it.
How about that program that the payback to all the banks who are going under? Anything out of that?
The RTC, they're basically just running the program. I think they're funding some of the programs off that, but there's really no direct money off those. Let me think. What page do I go on? 9. Here we go. 9. Sources of labor. This is a list of different, usually when you're developing a program, 80 to 90% of your costs are going to be labor costs. Any way you can reduce your cost through volunteer labor or other sources of labor, you're going to really be able to come up with a program very, very cheaply. And I've listed a bunch of labor sources you can come up with. Page 10, 11, and 12 is just some planning for nonprofits, and it's information organizationally about what the difference is between a mission statement, goals and objectives, and activities. And if you write grants at all, or you're into program development, or you're into business planning, this is information you need to know. And as your organization develops, you really have to become more and more familiar with this whole language. And this is the language of grant writing. Okay,
I would
number
like
eight.
to emphasize to these people the value of that last one. I mean, the help that you gave us.
Used it. Good.
I mean, if we didn't have that, we would still be on.
That's
page one.
Excellent.
Thank you very much, Jack.
Yes, Jack. Thank
Well,
you.
you still have another one, page 13?
Well, the last one of all, the last one is my favorite. This is words that sell and words that unsell.
Yeah.
And if you're doing your writing, and grant writing is a big part of writing, is
The word,
coming up with the right words.
word is
But
flesh.
this list here is really funny. They've done research, and this is in marketing and advertising and things like that. But there's certain words that people are more receptive to. There are other words that are like turn-offs. And it's like a subconscious thing, but we are all about language. If you take that little Gregoric style test, that's all about language, and it's how we think. But these are words to avoid. I mean, words that unsell, the words that sell. And it's funny that one of the words that unsell is use the word sell, right?
Celibacy.
You know, these are the values you want to be pushing in your proposals. Okay, that's basically all I want to throw at you folks. I got a batch of other stuff, but I've put out a thing here how to develop a board of directors, and this is just a nice little outline about how to look at people.
I think that was on the top of
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much, Jack. I
Yes.
enjoyed having you with us.
Very, very reasonable. Very
Thanks for getting out in the front.
informational.
Yeah.
Well, had a chance to dress in your jeans today.
Right. Do I usually, Dawn? I usually don't, do I?
No, you
I just
don't.
wanted to get down.
No, I've been trying to give him a pair of roller skates for years.
Yeah, I'm up down a lot.
We know clothes don't make us a better man. They make us look better.
No, I'm going on vacation tomorrow. I'm
All
flying out
right.
tomorrow morning to Georgia, and I'll be down there for a week, so
All right.
I've kind of disassociated already.
Way down south and Dixie.
What time is it?
Are you going to network with